These are the must-have weapons in GTA Online for the ultimate loadout, ready for any situation. I'll break down each weapon slot and the key upgrades that you need to dominate every encounter. To create the ultimate weapon loadout, start by customizing your weapon wheel. This allows you to hide any weapons that you won't be using, ensuring that only the best options are available at all times. To get started, you'll need a gun locker, which can be purchased at any of these following properties. However, the best place to create a custom loadout is in the armory at your agency. Here you can buy body armor, ammunition, and weapons at discounted prices, as well as upgrading them to their Mark II versions. This is a time-saving upgrade that you should definitely own. If you want to disable your custom loadout, simply head to the interaction menu, then health and ammo, and then disable the loadout. The process is exactly the same if you want to enable it again. There are 12 different weapons available with the Mark II upgrade, each offering various types of special ammo. The first ammo type is tracer rounds, which can be equipped to all Mark II weapons, except for the heavy sniper and the pump shotgun. This ammo is purely aesthetic and will offer no combat advantage, so it's best to avoid it. Next we have incendiary rounds, which are available for all Mark II weapons except the pump shotgun. These rounds can ignite targets on impact, often finishing them off, which is very useful. Then there are hollow point rounds, which are exclusive to the handguns and the SMG. They deal extra damage to unarmored targets, but their overall effectiveness is limited. Armor piercing rounds can be equipped on assault rifles, sniper rifles, and the combat MG. They will increase the damage against enemies wearing body armor, but like hollow point rounds, they don't really offer a major advantage. A more useful option is FMJ rounds, which are available for all Mark II weapons except for the pump shotgun. These rounds deal extra damage to vehicles, allowing you to break bulletproof windows in just a few shots. Definitely a great choice. The most effective ammo type is explosive rounds, which are exclusive to the heavy sniper. These rounds function like small explosives, providing a significant advantage against most vehicles, including armored ones. The pump shotgun is the only shotgun with the Mark II upgrade available, and its special ammo types function exactly the same, just with different names. A major drawback of using special ammo is that it decreases the rounds per magazine and the overall ammo capacity, except for tracer rounds. Explosive rounds have even more of a reduction in ammo. This means you'll frequently need to return to your armory to refill in ammo, which is a trade-off for the advantage that these ammo types give you. With that being said, let's jump into the ultimate weapon loadout, starting with the handgun slot. And one of the best options here is the open atomizer. If you've been playing GTA Online for a while now, then you will know just how much of a lifesaver this weapon is. Because it is a unique weapon, you can only buy it from the gun van. The open atomizer is incredibly handy for getting out of any tricky situations. If your vehicle ever gets stuck, which let's face it, always happens at some point, you can use the atomizer to free it quickly, which makes it very valuable for cell missions, where time is very limited. Other than that being its main purpose, it can also be used to launch yourself into hard to reach areas of the map, which can help massively in certain situations. Although this weapon is extremely useful, it's not great for combat because its primary function is to be used as a more utility-based weapon. But there are plenty more combat-based weapons on this loadout, so stick around. Next we have the AP pistol, which was previously my go-to drive-by weapon, but has since been dethroned by the tactical SMG. More on that later on. But with that being said, the AP pistol is still an amazing choice, especially for close range encounters, as it does have great accuracy. It has a much lighter recoil compared to other pistols, which can be reduced even more with a suppressor. And speaking of, when equipping a suppressor, this can become your go-to weapon for stealth missions, and I personally love this weapon for that main reason. The only massive downside to this pistol is its low magazine capacity, because even with an extended clip, you only get a max of 36 rounds, and that can be emptied in seconds when you're in a gunfight, which does put you at a small disadvantage. Although this still remains a great option for drive-bys due to its high fire rate and power. And finally in this slot we have the Heavy Revolver Mark II, which is extremely effective in close range combat. The upgraded version offers 25% more damage than the standard Heavy Revolver, and this thing is a beast. Although it is less useful for longer distance gunfights, it still shreds enemies at close range. However, you can slightly improve its zoom for longer range shots by adding a holographic sight or a small scope. But if you really want to take full advantage of this weapon, then you need to pair it with the full metal jacket rounds, which we mentioned at the beginning of the video. This turns the Heavy Revolver up a notch, allowing you to destroy most helicopters and even explode unarmored vehicles within a single shot. Definitely add this to your arsenal. One of the most underutilized slots on the weapon wheel is the melee slot, and that is for a good reason. Melee weapons are generally ineffective across the game as they offer little advantage in combat. However, the best melee option for your loadout is the Stone Hatchet. This weapon can only be unlocked after you have completed the mod bounty hunting challenges, and compared to every other melee weapon, it's much more effective, mainly due to the Stone Hatchet Rampage ability, which can be activated after killing a player or NPC. This Rampage offers you near invincibility for 12 seconds, but you can extend the duration by getting more kills. It's perfect for taking out multiple enemies at once or to make a quick escape. However, the ability does have a 60-second cooldown and it can only be triggered in free mode. Also, keep in mind that switching weapons during the Rampage will end the ability. Overall, if you are going to use melee weapons, this should definitely be your only option. It's a great tool to use simply because of the Rampage ability. But that now leads me onto the shotgun slot, starting with the assault shotgun, which is by far the best weapon to use for close quarters combat due to its incredible effectiveness at short range. I've been using the assault shotgun for almost every mission that I do because it's amazing. It features a fully automatic firing mode which allows for quick follow-up shots that can easily take down enemies with 1 to 2 hits. Its damage is great, even though it does drop off a small amount at mid-range due to the spread and fall off. However, the rapid fire makes it much more viable in those situations, especially for blind firing. However, if you want to make this shotgun more effective, adding an extended clip increases the magazine capacity by up to 300%, giving you 32 rounds, and the reload time is only 2 seconds, which gives you a massive advantage in fights. Also, adding a grip will further improve its accuracy, which can make it more reliable at mid-range, but I do not recommend adding a suppressor as it will reduce damage and range, so just stick to the AP pistol as your main suppressed weapon for stealth missions. Finally, in the shotgun slot we have the Pump Shotgun Mark II, and this thing really is a beast. It deals 50% extra damage against vehicles and enemies compared to the regular pump shotgun. However, like most shotguns, it is weaker compared to the assault shotgun, which fires 3 times faster, and that is why we have it in our loadout. But despite that, the Pump Shotgun Mark II is still powerful, especially when using the special ammo, more specifically the explosive slug shells. This lethal combination allows you to destroy NPC vehicles with a single shot, and player vehicles in just 2. Although its range is fairly short, which is its main drawback, using this weapon to clear out large crowds of NPCs is very effective. But now that brings me on to the Submachine Gun Slot, starting with the absolute menace that is the Combat MG Mark II, which is one of the most powerful weapons that you can use for all situations. Its default magazine only holds 100 rounds, which is why you should add the extended mag, which doubles that to 200 rounds per box. Other attachments you should definitely add to make this weapon even more powerful include the muzzle brake, grip, and scope, which makes the weapon's accuracy, recoil stability, and reliability improve a lot more. The Combat MG Mark II is very effective for shredding through large crowds of enemies and can take down several NPCs in a breeze, especially when using it in first person, which reduces the powerful recoil a lot. Although you can add special ammo to this gun, I do not recommend it because it is powerful enough on its own, and it will reduce the magazine capacity, which isn't worth it in my opinion. Next in this slot we have the tactical SMG, which like I mentioned earlier has overthrown the AP pistol as the new best weapon for drive-bys, outperforming it in many areas, because while it does lack at longer ranges, it excels in close combat due to its low recoil and higher damage. However, its accuracy does drop off with prolonged gunfire. Now the main reason you would want to use this over the AP pistol is simply because of its ammo capacity, because when adding the extended clip, this boosts the mag capacity from 33 rounds to 60 rounds, which is double the AP pistol. This of course reduces the need for constant reloading, making it even more effective for drive-bys. Even though the tactical SMG is slightly better than the AP pistol, I do still alternate between the two as my primary drive-by weapon. It's completely up to you on which one you prefer and if the ammo capacity is a huge downside for your playstyle. Next up we are moving into the assault rifle slot, and we will be starting off with the Special Carbine Mark II, which is the go-to assault rifle for shredding targets, as it offers the second highest damage per second among assault rifles. It has minimal spread during automatic fire, which makes this a very ideal weapon for both close and long range fights. You can level up this weapon's performance even more by adding a grip to improve its accuracy and to balance out its high damage. And when adding a large scope, this will increase your range even further. Finally, adding any muzzle of your choice will help reduce the recoil. Which brings me onto the Carbine Rifle Mark II, which is a great alternative to the Special Carbine, offering near the same firepower and rate of fire, only this time it features noticeable improvements in its accuracy and reduced spread, even during automatic fire. By adding the right attachments, you can achieve extreme accuracy, such as the scope, which minimizes deviation, making it more effective for long range combat. Overall, these two assault rifles are amazing to rotate between during fights, as they are both great performers. And speaking of, next up we have the Sniper Rifle slot, and this wouldn't be complete without the Heavy Sniper Mark II, which is the best sniper rifle for all situations, as it deals massive damage to players during combat. While a single shot to the chest may not be enough to kill high level players at full health, it will still inflict massive damage, allowing you to easily finish them off. It maintains very effective damage against pretty much all vehicles, especially aircraft. But you can take this sniper even further with options for a standard zoom scope or advanced scope, which offer much further ranges with their increased zoom. You can also add night vision and thermal scopes, which when enabled allow you to spot players in the dark and detect heat signatures, which does put you at a huge advantage during fights against other players. I also recommend adding an extended clip, which will increase the magazine capacity to 8 rounds, and when equipped with the muzzle brake, it can eliminate rank 100 players with a single shot to the chest. But you can make this sniper even more overpowered by pairing it with the explosive rounds, which creates a lethal combination and makes this weapon an absolute beast. The marksman rifle is also a great alternative to use for those rapid fire shots, making it useful for dealing damage to multiple enemies in a short time. It does have limited range with its fixed zoom, but it excels in medium range combat. Although it can easily be outclassed by assault rifles at a shorter range, its lower recoil allows you to get those quick follow-up shots. Personally, this isn't my go-to sniper rifle, but it does still prove to be valuable in combat, where rapid fire is needed to hit multiple targets at once. It all comes down to personal preference. And now we get to the heavy weapons slot, starting with the homing launcher. As the name suggests, the homing launcher is designed to lock onto vehicles from up to 300 meters away, capable of tracking and following aircrafts, including fighter jets. However, it's not very effective against most players, because if you're fighting a skilled player, they they can easily counter the homing missiles, although it is very effective at taking out NPCs, mostly helicopters and vehicles during missions, which is its main purpose for me. The launcher does only carry 10 rockets, which is half the capacity of the standard rocket launcher. Even though it does have a lower explosive damage against vehicles compared to the RPG, it still remains a deadly weapon if enemies are caught within the blast radius. And speaking of deadly weapons, next up we have the Railgun, which can only be purchased from the gun van. And this thing is a powerful weapon that can kill some players with a single shot. However, most rank 100 players will usually survive with minimal health left, as it will require 2 shots to take them out. But that isn't why it's effective, because it can instantly destroy unarmored vehicles in 1 shot, even with a player inside. And it delivers slightly more damage against vehicles than the explosive rounds on the heavy sniper, as well as the pump shotgun. It does only have a maximum range of 500 meters, and it cannot lock onto enemies or vehicles. But if you know how to use it, it can potentially be very effective against aircrafts, although its projectile speed is a bit slow. This is still a great heavy weapon to use in your loadout. And the same can be said for the minigun. This weapon shreds through enemies, and the biggest advantage that this weapon has is you do not need to reload it, allowing for uninterrupted fire with a max ammo capacity of 10,000 rounds. Its high fire rate results in a massive amount of damage per second, and continuous fire can easily ignite and blow up a vehicle. However, its main disadvantage is that it lacks automatic aiming and cover, making it less ideal for taking out enemies on foot. But despite that, it is still highly effective against helicopters, planes, as well as multiple enemies. This is a very powerful choice to use. The grenade launcher is another great heavy weapon option, as it can fire up to 10 rounds before requiring a reload. The rounds will explode instantly upon impact with a person or a vehicle, and when in cover, you can actually rapid fire the grenade launcher at double the speed compared to if you shoot it while standing still. This allows for a great tactic when fighting large amounts of enemies, allowing you to remain protected while still hitting your targets in a quick time. Additionally, you can aim grenades to bounce off objects, allowing you to reach harder to hit enemies very easily. However, a great alternative to the standard grenade launcher is the compact grenade launcher, much smaller but still just as effective. The reload speed is much faster than most single shot weapons, and while it does deal less damage than its larger counterpart, it remains just as powerful against unarmored vehicles. The main reason you would want to use this weapon is because it is the only heavy weapon that can be used as a drive-by weapon, making it ideal for sneaky kills while on a motorbike and even on boats. Just be careful not to get too close to your target when firing, or you can end up destroying your own vehicle and obviously killing yourself. But those are the best heavy weapons for your loadout, which brings us to the final slot on the weapon wheel, which is the Throwables Slot. The only throwable you really need in the game is sticky bombs. You can toss these onto players and NPCs, which can even stick to them. Sticky bombs deal immediate damage to any regular vehicle, allowing you to detonate them whenever you want, unlike proximity mines, which can be seen and heard by other players. Sticky bombs, however, can easily be thrown while you're in cover to take out enemies in harder to reach spots, and I prefer them over the proximity mines. They are incredibly effective for drive-bys, especially when thrown at large crowds of enemies, as well as sticking them to vehicles before detonating them. But that wraps up our guide on the ultimate weapon loadout in GTA Online. From all of the weapons I have covered in this video, they will serve to help you dominate any lobby that you are in. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this. And if you're looking to get better at the game, check out these 100 advanced GTA Online tips that are on your screen now. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.